This is Kevin.
Kelly.
And Ryan.
And this is the BonsaiTime podcast, the place for history, horticulture, and having fun. And in today's episode, we're giving a breakdown of our 2025 year in review as friends as we are and having separate lives we live, talking about each thing that happened in our life. And then what we're going to be doing in 2026, what to look forward for 2026 with the podcast and anything else that goes with it. So let's jump in, and always remember,
Bonsai
on. Hold on, guys. Sorry.
No worries.
Junie wants to say hi really quick.
Okay.
So,
I don't know this rock.
yeah, like you turn on the camera so Junie can say hi.
Okay.
Careful with that rock. It's a fragile one.
Do that.
Hold on. Can you see me? Where's my camera?
No, we can't see you.
Camera.
All right, Junie.
Hi, Jennifer.
You see us?
You grew up so much.
You say bonsai on?
Bonsai on.
There you go. Good job.
Mama's over there.
Almost
Oh, yeah?
gonna go to bed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Good
Bye.
night.
Good night.
Why you see me?
It's me.
Very
She knows
cute.
you, Ryan, right?
Bye.
Maybe. I don't know if she recognizes me.
Bye.
You know Uncle Ryan.
Bye-bye.
Hey, see ya.
It's
I'll
been
be in
like
bed
a
later.
year almost, 7
I
months since Kevin moved officially. I
I'm
forget.
sure she remembers you.
No, yeah, almost a year since Kevin moved.
How was everyone's new year? It's 2025. What was good about your year?
Oh, yeah.
2025?
It's now 2026, so we're there somewhere. I don't
You
know
guys
what
should
that
talk about
is.
your 2025 first. I forgot to reflect on what I did in 2025. Let me think for a minute.
I think everyone's already heard about mine, so I don't need to rehash any of that.
When was that?
Pretty much every episode since the release of the Ryan Neal episode. And the Ryan Neal episode talking about losing the job and then moving everywhere and such and such.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that whole thing. That was this year. That was a big year.
That was last year. That was a
Yeah.
wounded year.
Yeah. Moved from Ohio, downsize your collection, and bonsai nomad kind of for a while.
Yeah. Or as Chase Rosada would say, vagabond, bonsai vagabond. It's like, wear that badge proudly. I don't know.
Make yourself a Kevin.
I was thinking about it. Maybe I will. I don't know. We could call it the Bonsai Vagabond BonsaiTime podcast. I don't know.
Our spinoff, yeah.
Kelly, what was your year like? You went traveling, right?
I did. So a lot of traveling. Place to note, I got to go to Cambodia. So that was fun.
Nice.
Different.
Were there any cool trees in Cambodia?
Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Spung, Spung. The ones you see in the movies in the ruins.
Oh, grew outside of the concrete pillars and stuff.
Yeah, like the roots got all. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I've always wanted to see those. What was that like going there? Like, was it pretty chill? Was it more life changing to see those kind of things in real life? I don't know about life changing, but you know, I don't know.
It's different, right? It's a third world country. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, the temples were cool to see. It was just hot. So like, if there wasn't a breeze, I was just like, I'm done. I don't want to stand here with no breeze and it just being hot and super humid. I couldn't really focus or think too clear when it's hot like that.
Yeah, for real. That tropical climate will get you.
Yeah.
Isn't there a really famous ancient temple kind of ruins? Did you go to see that famous one?
Yeah, that's where that tree Spung. Where I saw those. I asked the guy that was giving us a tour. He said that's not a ficus, and I was like, "Oh, it's almost sure this is a ficus." But he said it's not. A lot of people think that.
So you went to Angkor Wat?
Oh yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, so I landed in Phnom Penh, or whatever the new airport's at, and then went straight to Siem Reap, and that's where all the Angkor Wat and Ta Pong is the one where you see like Tomb Raider, all the trees growing out of the ruins, and probably some other ones. But I think by like the third temple, I'm like, I'm done. I don't care. I mean, they're all kind of different in their own way, but I'm like, it's just a lot of walking and it's hot.
For sure. Plus, being so humid, you could really get dehydrated fast. I remember that from being in Florida. It was disgusting. It's just, it was like wearing a sweater in an oven.
It skin when you're out there.
Oh, I heard. Yeah, that's true. Glistening and really hydrated.
But I think Cambodia is a good trip because it's super inexpensive. They take U.S. money, and the people are friendly. I don't think there's a lot of violence. I mean, I could be wrong, but I didn't notice that. Well, yeah,
there's always something going on over there. You know, historically, there's been upheaval and unrest sometimes, but yeah. So, okay, I just looked up the trees real quick. It says what I typed in for anyone listening or watching. It says what trees are growing in Angkor Wat: sprung trees, Tetramelis nudiflora, strangler figs, Ficus gibosa. So there is a ficus species or cultivar. Banyan trees, Ficus SPP. I forgot what SPP is. Sorry.
Species. It's a plural for multiple species.
I should know that being a horticulturist. Sorry, school. And other vegetation. That's what it says. So there were ficus there. So you were correct. Maybe there's different trees growing in different places, but
banyan trees, the ones that have those aerial roots that come down and root themselves.
I think so. I don't know if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, they're one of the famous ones that do that. Other ficus can do it too, though.
Yeah, banyan trees are. Yeah, I saw some in Florida when I visited Dave Cutchins down there before he moved to Kentucky.
Yeah, I'll look up some photos of those temples for the show notes on this one.
Oh, I sent you guys too.
Oh, the ones you took?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Awesome. What was you saying, Kelly? I didn't hear what you said before the photos thing.
I said I think there's banyan trees in Hawaii, and when I was young, I was like, you can swing from them.
Yeah, banyans are cool. They have really cool trees in tropical climates. They have them in Okinawa too. Saw a bunch of ficus and stuff there and everything else. Oh, I guess that's what I did in 25. Went to Japan. Saw family.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
That was nice.
So what did you do this time on your trip to Japan? I remember we were talking after you got back because we had the episode about the Hiroshima tree. So you visited that memorial, right?
It's Kumi. I can hear a voice in my head, Hiroshima. Because Hiroshima, yeah. She's like, it sounds like an old man. Hiroshima.
I remember when we had that episode that I probably didn't pronounce it quite right also.
It's all good.
Hiroshima, right?
Went to Hiroshima. Not to be that guy, but my wife does teach Japanese, so I very much on point of my pronunciation these days. Plus, my daughter correct me when I'm speaking wrong Japanese is pretty funny too. So flew into Tokyo, got to see the Kokufuten for the first time. That was pretty cool. Saw a lot of people I didn't expect to see. Had my first out of the country Kevin Ferris. I was like, who's here? So
someone recognized you in Japan?
And it was Ira. I forgot Ira's last name. Sorry, Ira. But Ira has been doing bonsai, did stuff with Mirai and other things. And I got to hang out with him and his wife. Went to Omiya a little bit. I meant to say I went to Omiya Bonsai Village with John Kim and Michelle Kim, the owners of Joshua Raw Tools. So that was really cool to see them. Went to Okinawa with the family. My in-laws came down. That was really cool. My second time going there. And it's a beautiful place. Really great inspiration for tropical trees, especially like wind blown or growing wild and stuff. I'll share some photos there too. Then we went up to Fukushima, where my wife is from, and we had snow taller than me in some places. And I'm 6'1" on a good day. And I had never experienced that much snow in my life. It was very cold. Japanese houses are very drafty. I was told just recently that Japanese houses are built to live with the seasons. So you are cold in winter, hot in summer, and pretty okay in spring and fall. But you feel everything a lot of the time, especially the older houses. There's some times where you can see your breath inside the house, even with the kerosene heaters and stuff. It's an experience. It's definitely an experience. But yeah, so we did that. Got to see a factory that builds and creates Japanese bonsai tools. They originally started with fingernail clippers, and we got kind of a lesson on a good sound of a fingernail clipper is more like a dunk sound that it should make when clipping instead of a ding, because like the ones we have in the States go ding, kind of a loud dink when you're clipping your nails, toenails or fingernails. And I'm going on a tangent here about toenails and fingernails, but it was really cool. And then we got to walk. They had an open studio kind of thing where they had windows and you could see them making the tools, doing all the things they do to make the tools usable and everything else. It was just each compartment had its own group of people doing stuff. That was in.
So it was like a museum and a factory combined.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's a really good point to say that. Yeah, because that was in Niigata. I was in Niigata, Japan. There was even more snow there. They had a really cool bonsai tree that was like a 3D bonsai tree, but out of metal and aluminum pieces. But it was like $70. I'm like, yeah, it's really heavy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was able to buy some tools there with the idea that I would use them at the National Arboretum, break them in nice as a new tool thing. But I got to use them other places. But yeah, and then from there, 2025 was good. I got to travel around a lot, as everyone has heard now. And then, moved to Massachusetts where I'm at now and have been able to do some things here. So, yeah, and we'll be right back.
Are you looking for pots for your spring repotting? Well, come on down to Kevin Ferris's moving sale of pottery at invivobonsai.etsy.com and enter the code BTP26 for 15% off of your whatever pot Kevin has for sale that I'm doing on my Etsy. I've got them all on there already, or you can message me directly and I will give you the same discount. And so they're all on my website and we'll link it in the show notes.
And now back to our show. What about you, Ryan? Have you reflected enough?
Yeah. I had some good time to think while you were chatting. So my 2025 was pretty good. Nursery was growing as it has been every year since I started it. So can't complain there.
Pun intended.
Yeah, good one. Good catch. I didn't collect as many Yamadori as I have in some years past. I'm getting up to a good number, so I'm not as gung-ho about that, we can say. But I did still keep up the tradition of organizing the local Columbus Club digs. So I got a couple good trees there, some interesting deer scarred kind of deciduous and native species to play with. And beyond that, I vended at the Louisville Bonsai Show, Waterfront Botanical Gardens, the Pittsburgh Bonsai Show, and the Columbus, of course, one show in Michigan, and Cincinnati. I think those were my 5 for the year. So that's a pretty good number for me. I think usually I try to hit like the same shows that I went to the previous year. And in terms of my schedule, there's like a limit. So one a month is a pretty good amount, I think. Like something sustainable that I can do while I'm working on a real job full time. Other than that,
we got to do a big shout out real quick to Angelica Ramirez getting inducted into the Waterfront's first curator ever. So big clap for her. Congrats, Angelica.
Yeah. The 2 years that I've been at the Louisville Bonsai Show, they have a permanent collection of bonsai. We interviewed them last year because they're planning to expand this bonsai show that they're doing and their bonsai collection, and they're making a Japanese garden. So this is why they hired Angelica, is that they have a really growing and new botanic garden there. So go back to that episode that we released last year if you're interested in that. But yeah, I think that basically covers my 2025. Now things are calming down a little bit. And that's a little bit intentional on my part, where I'm focusing elsewhere than the nursery lately. So,
Well, yeah, because your PhD is still gearing up to go somewhere.
yeah, I'm trying to make 2026 the year where I can get as close to done as possible. So if we want, this might be a natural time to talk about next year, unless you have more that you want to talk about for last year. But
I was just going to say, you got to create a Rocky Balboa montage of your efforts. And at the end,
yeah.
Adrian, bad joke, but yeah.
I've never seen any of the full Rocky movies, actually.
I hate to say I'm not surprised.
There's a lot of old movies I got to catch up on.
Those are some necessary ones to watch. Plus, The Karate Kid is a necessary one to watch too. The original Karate Kid, as talked about with John Gene Angel. No, 2026. Yeah. Kelly, what do you got for 2026?
Going to the Kokufu
That's in a couple weeks.
next week.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's coming up.
Because that's the second weekend and the third weekend of February, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
I am. Yeah, I guess so. I didn't really plan too much. Is just go to Kokufu, the 2 parts, and see whatever happens after that. I'm sure there's going to be a lot to see and do.
I'll say, from having gone now, being married to a Japanese person, obviously, as everyone probably is getting tired of me talking about, but also everything else.
Don't worry, Kevin. Not everyone listens to every episode, so
true. Got to keep them up to date.
Also, we release only like once a month, so people forget what you said before. So
sounds like a common theme in my life. Okay. I went the first time by myself with no plan, and it worked out pretty well. I wish I would have done a few things of like things I wanted to see as I do now. But as you said, you're going for Kokufu. You're going to go to Osaka or anywhere else?
Yeah. So after I do the Kokufu 2 parts, I still have like an extra week about.
Nice.
I figure I can go to Osaka, and a friend was like, well, you can go to Osaka and then make day trips to Hiroshima. Right?
Yeah, you're good. A for
Shima.
effort.
Yeah.
Hiroshima.
Kyoto, not really wanting to go where all the crowds are.
Yeah, that's a funny thing with Kyoto. I've realized after talking with people who live there or other things, there's that one small little area that everyone goes to. But there's so many other areas. Yeah. And there's so many other little, I don't want to call them suburbs, but little areas, offshoots of that are still as amazing because they need the attention. So I would go out there if I were you. It's fun because you can have conversation, I guess. Something like that. Use Google Translate. It's great.
Are you doing any Duolingo, Kelly?
No, so I was going to write on a scrap of paper and have it handy or on my phone somewhere. I can remember konnichiwa, arigato, sumimasen.
That's a good one. Yeah.
And
then so konnichiwa, arigato, sumimasen, and then another one that's really good is please onegaishimasu.
What? Oshi.
Onegaishimasu.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to spell out phonetically.
Okay,
so
yeah.
Well, make some flashcards while you're on the flight or something.
You're right.
Good point. You know what? I might do that on the flight.
Another nice one when you're leaving. It's very friendly. You're not gonna maybe see these people again for a long time. Maybe you can say matane. Like matane is like see you later. It's a very nice, cordial goodbye. Not sayonara, where it's like sayonara is very strict and.
So, like, if I'm walking out of a restaurant, I say that matane.
Okay, that's a good one. Good thing bringing that up. You would say "Gochiso sama deshita," which means thank you for this food, and I thank you for cooking for me.
That's a lot of syllables for me to remember.
Okay, one other one. Before you eat, definitely at a restaurant. And if you go to a ramen place and they're giving you ramen, before you eat, you say itadakimasu and clap your hands together and say itadakimasu. It means like, let's eat, or I don't want to call it a prayer because you're not praying, but it's that same kind of idea where like, if you're praying before as thanking for the food. Same thing, it's thanking for the food. But yeah, sorry, off my soapbox, talking with my wife's head, my wife's voice in my head.
If I go to like those ramen shops where you don't see a human being, they just
a robot, like the sushi conveyor belt, and then you say
you'll probably hear people just do it by themselves. It's just a cultural thing.
You can still practice it.
Like Juniper does it. She's like, itadakimasu. I was like, Dada, itadakimasu. Oh yeah, sorry. I'll send you these. I'll send you these. It'll be fine.
Yeah, maybe in the show notes, Kevin will have a section for suggested Japanese phrases.
And I'll have my wife double check them.
There's like, I downloaded 2 translation apps to see which one would work best.
Okay.
And you could just talk into it and it'll just speak in Japanese for you. If I had to do that.
I know plenty of people are using the Google app where they're just typing it and then they're reading it and it's making sense that way.
Yeah, there's a faster one. I don't know what it's called, but
that's cool.
Well, I'm sure I'll survive, hopefully.
Definitely. You'll have a great time. It's fun. It's safe. It's super safe. There's just going to be a bunch of people there. You're going to be meeting people from all over the world, you know. Do you think you'll bring your recording equipment and do maybe a few interviews over there with randos?
I don't know with who.
People you meet. I mean, it's Bonsai family.
The possibility may arise.
I mean, my mics are so tiny, so yeah, I could probably pack them.
Because that's the thing. Those are kind of those candid moments that are historically prevalent, right? Because Chase talked to me about that. He's like, you get the most conversations with people at bonsai shows because they're all so happy. I was like, oh, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Chase's wisdom again. But Japan will be fun.
Old people are full of wisdom.
I call them wise people. Are you going to eat the egg sando in 7-Eleven and all that?
Yeah, I plan on going to, I think are they called konbinis?
Konbini. Yeah. Konbini. Yeah. Like convenience, but just shortened for konbini.
I think I'm just going to go because I heard so much about it. I don't know if I'm going to eat there all the time.
You'd be surprised. It's actually really good food. It's not like here where it's like, do I want indigestion or not? It's good. It's really good. Ryan, you haven't been to Japan yet, right?
Not to Japan. The closest I've been is to Korea as a layover, and then Thailand, where I did go to 7-Eleven there, and it was a lot better than 7-Eleven here.
That's cool.
Wait, real quick. Ryan, can you adjust your mic a little bit? It's a little echoey.
Hello.
Way better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to be like 2 inches away from the mic. I got to eat the mic, and then
your
you'll hear me
voice sounds
clearly.
so deep, Ryan.
Only when I'm this close, I guess.
Yeah.
Japan will be fun. Who are you flying with?
Japan Airlines.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have a great time.
Good.
Japan Airlines is like,
Kevin is so excited for you.
Dude, if anybody always asks what airline, I'm like, Japan Airlines or ANA. Like the first time I did Japan or Japan Airlines, Juniper was a baby and Kumi and I had our own seats together. It was at the time COVID, so it's all the signs said no talking because of masks and stuff at that time. It was like 2021, I think, so it's still pretty fresh in Japan. Kumi had to eat and I had to eat, and Juniper was asleep, kind of awake. And mind you, she was 6 months old, but the flight attendant, she had made it clear that she was our personal flight attendant because we had a baby and other families. Like she was like ours. I was like, this is crazy. I've never had this, right? She came over and held Juniper and rocked her back and forth so Kumi could eat and I could eat.
Wow.
I was like, this is something new. So you'll have a great time on gel and in Japan.
Do you think it's going to be so it doesn't really get cold here? And the most cold I've ever been.
Cold in California, you mean, right?
Yeah, here.
Okay.
Southern California. So the coldest I've ever been was maybe DC and Philadelphia in December. So I figured Tokyo is going to be kind of cold like that.
That's pretty cold. DC in December, that's pretty cold. Philly's cold. Yeah, prepare for cold. February is pretty chilly. If you're needing a jacket, I would say you could buy one over there at Uniqlo, or of course a store is called GU. It's just really high quality stuff for a very decent price. That way you can maybe leave your jacket in the hotel on accident if you don't need it to come back. But that way you have more room for bring back your own goodies and stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying not to
Good idea, given
buy too
you're
much.
not going to use that jacket in LA unless you're a skier or something.
Yeah, right.
Well, one day I want to go to Iceland, so hopefully.
Oh, well, maybe you'll need it then.
I will say one thing I've picked up from going to Japan multiple times now and talking to other people who've either lived there or travel there pretty frequent. You have your one bag going there, right? And it's a fee. What people do is they'll pay for a second bag coming back, and they just buy an empty luggage so that they can just fill up with all the goodies they want and crackers or whatever, to where you're not paying double the amount for bringing a barely used or barely full bag with you, so you don't have to deal with it. So you can go to a Don Quixote and get a super cheap but really durable, strong luggage, and then come back with it and then be like, I have an extra luggage suitcase, but it's full of goodies.
So Kevin, is that, I don't know if you've ever tried to ship anything from Japan to here, but do you think that would be cheaper than shipping a box of equal size, basically?
Because right now, if things are going the way they are, which they are,
like tariffs,
100%. So I've heard, I don't know for sure, that some people are getting checked at the airport and getting money put on what they've bought from other countries at the airport. I may leave that in. I may not.
Well, you can leave it in. It is a real consideration. Let's put it that way.
I've heard from other sources I've read about, just with travel things, that some people are purchasing big items and they're bringing them to the airport, and then they're getting the tariff tax on top of it, because bringing stuff into the airport is not getting away with tariffs, but I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Usually it's like a smaller quantity. It used to be that if you had a small quantity, that you didn't have to do a tariff or something, but I think that they changed that policy. So
yeah.
But trees, like a tree.
Oh God, don't do that. You'll get so much trouble.
Yeah.
Like, you could be arrested. I've heard.
Kidding, I'm not going to do that.
I was like, no.
Pots are a good idea though, right? Or the little bronze figurines or different things like that.
Pots
or
are
maybe
fine.
a stand. I don't know.
Pot stands.
Get one of those copper watering cans.
Oh yeah.
Those, they may have some at the Green Club, which is in the vicinity of the Kokufu show, but you're gonna find those to be pretty big. I ended up getting a box one time when I brought one back with me, because it's super long. It's like the size of a box in length.
Hopefully the spout came apart, so it's not long.
They may have changed it, but the one I bought it's copper welded all together. So if that's the case, yeah.
Well, I guess I'll be checking in a box.
And if that's the case, you have 50 pounds worth, right? So you can get that and then fill it with other stuff around. If you get a pot and it's pretty significant size, take it with you as a carry-on. That way it's not broken, because you'll see the baggage handlers in Japan like gently putting the stuff on, and then you'll come home and be like, American handlers. Like, I saw a guy's bag broken at LAX one time and he was on crutches. He's like, what am I supposed to do? I can't even.
And no one will care, right? They'll just be like, too bad.
Like, better luck next year. But no, Japan will be fun. I can't wait to hear your time with that. It'll be fun. I'm not going, obviously, because money's an issue, but
well, you'll be there next year, so it might be easier for you next year.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, we'll visit next year. Yeah, we'll go and visit next year and whatnot as we do. But yeah, Ryan, what about you? What's your 2026?
So let's see. In terms of plans, my immediate plans, let's put it this way. So my New Year's resolution for this year is less screen time. told you guys this before we were recording, where I found this setting in the Android, which is my phone, where you can for free set a pin that will limit your screen time. So I gave my partner the phone and told her to set the pin. And now, before I tried to have a screen time resolution, but you can just hit change timer, like when you hit the limit, right? And when I'm busy teaching and with my research and with everything, it wasn't that bad. But over the winter break, when I had a lot more flexibility in my schedule, then I noticed my screen time went up again. So now I'm like hard limit, reducing my screen time. It's good for you, I think. And but this year I'm doing it for focus reasons. Like I said, I'm trying to focus on graduating, and hopefully, fingers crossed. And so I'm just trying to prioritize work this year, basically. But what'd you say, Kelly?
I said we believe in you. You'll graduate.
You can do it.
Yeah, thanks. I need all the good luck I can get. I need like a rabbit's paw. Isn't that what they? A monkey paw or a rabbit foot for good luck.
Yeah, the rabbit's foot for good luck. You violent man.
Yeah, so all my experiments will work on the first try, and then I'll be out of here. But that would be the dream. But so that is one of the ways that I'm trying to save time. Another way that I'm trying to save time this year is a lot of people know in my nursery, I have the Etsy store where I used to count out individual seeds. I have a huge seed collection in a mini fridge. And I've always enjoyed doing that. And like I ship people a guide that says, okay, here's how you can grow bonsai from seed in like the multi-year plan. So they actually get some good info on it. But this year I made the difficult decision to stop with the seed sales because although I enjoy it, it's like every 2 weeks I have to count out all these seeds. And I've always felt that is not a very efficient process. So I'm at least going to put a pause on that for a couple months while I focus on work this semester. And maybe next year I can restart that again. But this year is going to be a year where I'm trying to do less things better. That's how I would phrase it. So that's one of the things, like trade-offs. Like if I'm spending less time on the seed sales, then I can spend more time on work and more time on, I need to also downsize my bigger pots and trees that I have. I might have mentioned this to you, Kevin, but I'm moving my nursery this year. It's going to be a busy year for me. Let's put it that way. So my parents are moving or trying to move. Half of my nursery or more is at their place, which is not far from here. So I'm going to move it all to my current place. And so, some downsizing is in the works for that too. So I'll still be doing workshops and going to club events and possibly, I haven't really made any firm decisions yet, but possibly still vending at some local club shows this year.
That might be good for mental health for you, just to get out of that grind. One thing, I just had an idea when you're talking about the seed sale stuff. And Kelly, I want to hear your input too. What if you were to do specific amounts already pre-bagged, so that way you're not having to count them out, and then you just have them available for certain amounts that people either take this or that or not this at all?
Yeah, I have a couple ideas to improve the process. I think when I first started it, my mindset was, okay, I want to collect as many different species of seeds as I can. And so I think at this point I have 6. I had, before I discontinued for now, temporarily, I had 60 or 70 species of seeds that I accumulated in the last 6 years now.
Jesus.
And so my mindset was, okay, the more, maybe I got to go collect these seeds. I got to go look up the information on each seed so I can give that information to the buyer. So my mindset was more like get everything up and running and not so much on the efficiency of like, okay, once someone places an order, how can I fulfill that without derailing other things that I have to do, So I think when I do reopen it, I will be more strategic about that. Maybe one seed at a time, I'll pre-bag them. So then it'll be quick and easy for me to fulfill those orders. So
I think you just made a new business name, one seed at a time.
Yeah. But if anybody wants seeds in the meantime, I do have some returning customers from my Etsy and everything like that. And I know a lot of people appreciate some of the native species that I had offered, like pitch pine, which are not that common to find elsewhere. So if you really want seeds and you don't want to wait, I might be willing to do a special order for you. Just be patient with me. Let's put it that way. But yeah, I'll still be doing the tool sales, the pot sales on Etsy, because like I said, I need to downsize and make this move a little easier in the next couple of months. So
yeah.
What's the name of your Etsy store?
So it's just my business name. It's In Vivo Bonsai, and it will be listed as a sponsor of this episode. So it'll be in the description. Mm-hmm. But yeah, thanks for mentioning that, Kelly. And yeah, we'll have the link in the description.
Yeah, be on the lookout. That sounds like a busy 2026.
Yeah, pretty busy just in terms of, okay, I've got to move my trees. I still want to work on them though, and I still want to go dig trees, but I don't need that many new trees. So I may or may not dig trees for myself this year. We'll see.
What if you dig trees and have them at somebody else's house?
Yeah, well, my first priority is, okay, I got to move all the trees here, and then the move stress will be lower. And then at that time, I can decide if I want to dig more trees for myself.
Or what you could do, you get help moving the trees over and then give a few away as a complimentary thank you. Instead of pizza and beer, it's like, take a tree.
Yeah, that could work. My plan was basically like, I go to my parents every Sunday night for dinner. So, every Sunday night, I'll load up the trunk with a bunch of trees and bring it back. But right now we're in, 12 inches of snow, and it hasn't melted all week, and it's not going to melt for all the next week. So it'll start off mostly in March, I think, with the move.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then other than that, I did forget to mention, I am doing a little bit of club events where I am lecturing and demonstrating. So currently the plan is for Cincinnati and Ann Arbor. They both want me to do some lecture and demonstration about Yamadori and local Yamadori. So cool. I'll be giving that lecture, and then my demonstration will be, okay, how do I do the first repot of something that I've dug like 2 years back now? So that's, and for both of those clubs, the plan is also to do a dig your own tree workshop where in the case of Cincinnati, they found some property that a club member hunts on. And so it's like deciduous forest, probably some deer, scarred trees and things like that. And then in the case of Ann Arbor, I still have to find the exact location that we'll be going for that. But those will be February.
Oh, wait, so you're taking, sorry to interrupt, but you're taking people out and walking them through the digging process. Yes.
So at these events, cool. I'm going to, I've been doing it in Columbus the last 5 years that I've been here. So just that's taking that to other local clubs. Yeah.
Right. But that's local to Columbus, which is a little more simplified as opposed to driving.
Yes. Yeah. A little easier to schedule. And, since I'm in charge and I'm in the club, I can do it whenever, but I'm working with their schedules. So it's going to be Cincinnati, February 19th is a Thursday. That's their February meeting. And then the tentative plan is February 21st to Saturday for the club dig. If we still are buried in snow, we will delay it to March and we'll come up with a new date. And then Ann Arbor will be, I think it's the third week of April. So April, it'll be the third week of April. So I'll put those dates on my website once they are, once they're set in stone and everything.
Kelly, are you doing any digging this year? Are you going on any digs at all in California?
I wanted to ask Ryan why he likes to dig trees.
I think that's the most exciting part of bonsai is getting out into nature and finding a tree with potential and then digging it up. You get a good workout. I've probably talked about this previous years. And it's also a fun challenge of like, oh, what species is this? Especially when there's no leaves on it. And so you got to go by the bark, by the buds. What leaves are you finding around you on the ground? And try to think about, okay, what made this tree the way that it is? So I find that to be the most rewarding part of bonsai. The only problem is that if that's all you like to do, you get too many trees. So
and a sore back.
Yeah, I don't mind that so much, but
I don't have any plans to dig just because it's hard to find a place to legally do that here.
Makes sense.
I do have recommendations. Urban digging also. One of the things that I do is when I walk my dog. So this is a good networking idea. Walk your dog. You look like a friendly neighbor. Make conversation with your neighbors. You say, "Oh, I see you have a row of hedges that are invasive. Would you like me to help you dig them and replace them with something else? Or I see you have this tree that you keep cutting back and it's not dying, but it has an interesting trunk now. You don't have to tell them that part, but be like, yeah, would you like some help removing it? And I'll use it for bonsai or something." And I've had good success just in my local neighborhood, asking people with like some overgrown area, if I can dig their stuff that way too.
Well, that's smart.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot on your plate plus a PhD. I don't envy
it. So like I said, I'm trying to do like last year. Okay. One bonsai show per month, right? So I'm trying to keep this same kind of mindset, like one bonsai weekend per month. And then the other weekends, I'm doing a lot of time in the lab. So I think it balances out.
How's your partner dealing with that?
We're going okay. I have to be very mindful about the balance of all three of these things for sure.
As we talked about before in great length, right?
Yes.
Good.
So it's definitely we're doing well at it, I think. Yeah.
Good.
As well as you can.
Yeah, right. Especially in winter.
Yeah.
My 2026 so far, I did one thing. 2 Wednesdays ago, I did a lecture at Williams College where my wife teaches in Williamstown, Massachusetts. I held a lecture there on bonsai as an art form where nature meets art, the whole thing, and went over really well. I was expecting not a full house because I was told that there is a bus that takes students to the mountain to go skiing or snowboarding, and Wednesdays are generally a skiing lesson.
And wait, what school is this? Because I kind of want to go there now.
Williams College. It's the number one liberal arts school in the country. The acceptance rate is 12%. And the graduation rate is 95%. From what I've learned is that the really only way to get in is through facilitation of like a legacy of your parents went there, someone that went there, or you're in a sports program or something, or they're really big on theater out here. It's a nice campus, really beautiful, small town. But I did that. I was pleasantly surprised. It was a full house. That was cool. A good friend of mine, Dan B, they helped with some talks about the local clubs around the area, specifically the Hudson Mohawk Bonsai Society. Pauline Muth was a big part of that one. In Albany,
like
New York.
An hour from them, right? And
yeah, hour some change depending on weather and traffic.
Have you found any club members that live closer to your area specifically?
Dan.
Okay, just him.
Yeah. Dan is on the board for the MABS people, Mid-Atlantic Bonsai Society. He's on. They're on the board for that.
How did your bonsai talk go?
It went really well.
You and Dan worked on it together, you said?
No, I worked on it and then I surprised Dan last minute. Like, hey, you want to come? You're going to talk about this like near the end. And I put Dan on the spot. Like, Dan, you talk. And Dan's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, sorry, I did that too much. Ryan knows that. And Kelly knows that too.
Yeah, your new club members have to get used to you.
Yeah, so that's my local club as of right now with the Hudson Mohawk Bonsai Society. They're really good people out there. The lecture went well, like I said, and then I'll be hosting a repotting workshop with the club March 28th, as that's pretty set in stone. It'll be a different kind of idea of what I've seen work before, where it's like, if however many people are showing up, if there's an equal amount of people, if not, it'll be one person by themselves or something. But I want to do a dual repotting kind of station where two people repot a tree, so they learn together. So I would ideally, hopefully have a beginner and somebody with some knowledge or some more long-term knowledge that has been doing it for a while. And they work together on the beginner's tree or not so much knowledge person's tree. And then the person who has more knowledge either has some tree that's big or can facilitate extreme angle changes. Think of like Ryan Neal, Todd Schlafer kind of stuff. And so you get best of both worlds. And I've seen it because I've been in classes where that happened. And I learned so much more because I was able to bounce ideas off of my partner. But then the teacher or the person doing the workshop or leading the workshop was able to come and fix things or help out where needed, because it's kind of like you're there for helping, but you're also there to kind of learn from how you're doing it hands-on. And so that's the game plan for that. And then I will be teaching a boxwood class at Jim Doyle's place on April 25th and 26th. That's really cool.
So that'll be your second year in a row teaching with him, right?
Yes. Yeah. This will be just by myself this time, actually. So
nice.
So it'll be putting on my big boy pants. Mm-hmm. And then just got word from Young Cho. That was last names. And Chase Rosade. Chase is hosting a World Bonsai Day event as he does every year on May 9th. At his nursery, New Hope. I found out, as a side note, that Chase was one of the first, if not the first nursery to host a World Bonsai Day event back when it first started, because his now wife, who's sadly passed away, Solita, was in the board and all that for the World Bonsai Friendship Federation, that puts that on. So they were the first, as from what I was told, first nursery to do that in America. Chase told me that, so I can't say otherwise. But they're going to have me as a guest person there. So that would feel very honored to have that. And then this summer, I plan to be in Ohio on the weekend of June 13th and 14th, something that weekend.
That sounds right. It's a Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. And I'll be doing as a bring your own tree workshop where it's, anyone can come. If you don't have a tree, we can provide you with a tree. You can work on it. You don't have to buy it necessarily, but it may spark your interest to bring a tree home. Just everything can be done within limits except repotting because it's in June, unless you have a tropical tree, and we can work that. But otherwise, if you need tools, I'll have extra tools. If you need help, I can provide answers as needed. Horticulturally, styling, whatever, bring your own tree workshops are fun because it makes me, the ones I've done, think harder, because it's not every tree is the same species or cultivar. You have to be kind of on your, gotta get your wits about you. And I like those because it makes me think harder. But other than
Plus,
that,
as the participants, you get to learn about everybody else's trees and like their stage of development and the next steps, that kind of thing.
Definitely. Yeah. And then, just working on some side projects here and there. I intend to do more editing, as I am the full editor now for the BonsaiTime podcast going forward.
Thank you, Kevin, for taking over this year.
No problem. I just have really good output for this year. I want to get more episodes released as often as we can. Got big things coming up. Got, like I said, a few side projects through the podcast I want to do with y'all, and other things that haven't been done yet in the realm of bonsai podcasts. I want to make it more fun. I want to make it more entertaining, if you will. Not that it's not already entertaining, but I don't want to go into the same motion of just interviewing people just to talk to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, it's a good challenge to think about for sure.
Yeah. Because, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of podcasts nowadays, which is great. As we talked about Ryan Neal, or Houston. It's just those things where, we can always do more because it's not been done yet. Doesn't mean we don't know what to do. We just haven't tried it, and 2026 is going to be a busy year, but we can talk more about that later on my end, just because some things are coming up, but I can't really talk about it yet because it's not set in stone. So, but yeah, you'll be the first to know. I don't know. I feel like 2025 was a good year for the podcast. I feel like 2026 is going to be better. I don't know.
Just keeps growing and growing.
I know, Kelly, you've got some episodes coming up too that you've done, right? That will be released when they can be, but I'm excited to hear those.
Yeah, there was one with Bill the day after the national show. So I'm like super late.
That's okay.
One.
It's all right.
And yeah, there's a few others. They're just in my phone. I have to figure out how to edit.
It'll be good. It'll be good. And Ryan, you have some that are soon to be on or soon to be proceeded to recording, or what are you thinking?
I forget. I have a number of people. There's always people that we want to interview.
Yes.
And it's just a matter of, do we have the time to interview them, and then to edit. And so there's some people we have in the bank. I think you're going to help us clear the bank somewhat this year.
Well, most of everything.
Yeah. There may be a couple that we hang on to until we're ready, timing wise, to release those, but that would be good. And then,
as asked by the artist to do so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's a question for the listeners listening to this, or viewers or viewing it on YouTube. Do you like it when we each have our own individual episodes? Do you like it when we do these talks like this? What do you guys, or people, y'all, what do y'all like that we're doing? What can change? Because we like the feedback. We're getting more comments on our episodes. It's great. Mm-hmm. Let us know what you want to hear. Let us know what you want, and we'll try to facilitate as much as we can, especially with editing. We're getting better audio, getting better editing equipment and things in that way. Strive to be as professional as we can.
Great time, Kevin, to plug our Facebook group and our Discord channel, which are always in the show notes. So people can come give us their feedback anytime that way, or in our email or social media.
And that's BonsaiTime Podcast Chat on Discord. Mm-hmm. And then the email
link is the best way to join. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the link and emails, our email is bonsaitimepodcast@gmail.com. I still think it should have been called, it's Bonsai Time. But, teach on their own on that. But,
you should have told me that, 5 years ago.
But
is it too late to change?
Now we're stuck with it
now.
now.
Someday, this is for listeners too. Someday I would like to have a physical address or PO box to get snail mail, and then we can read them out loud on a mailbag episode. That'd be cool. I do look forward to us doing more of the tree critique or tree talk ideas from listeners sending in photos. We haven't done one in a while. Those are fun.
Yeah. One thing that I've thought of is we've had occasional listeners send in emails and things over time. And it's been like one here, one there. And I've thought, okay, maybe we should go back and compile all of those for a new mailbag episode. But the problem is that in the moment, it's just like, okay, we got one listener comment this month, so we can't really make a whole episode out of that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, You've heard me talk. I can hold it pretty well.
Yeah.
No, that's about it. I think we're doing good. It's been 5 years now or something like that. And we've got more people to talk to and more episodes to output. I don't know. How are y'all feeling about it?
Yeah, it's been fun doing this podcast. And I think, Kevin, you and I and Kelly also, to some extent, I think we have this bonsai addiction, obviously, but also a addiction about creating something that might give back to the community. So one of the things that I gave up for 2026 is I'm no longer the treasurer of the Columbus Bonsai Society. I'm still helping organize their show, and I'm still on the board. So I'm not fully out, and I'm helping the new treasurer transition and everything. But one of the things I'm hoping that'll give me more time to do is to go through their video library, where I have all these DVDs from past years. And even since I've been there, I've been recording the demos and the lectures. I posted a couple of them, but that's one of the things when I graduate, if I have a couple of months to breathe, I really want to go through those and post more of those and things like that. So those, in the past year, I experimented posting some of those in our BonsaiTime feed. So I hope to do more of that when I can breathe.
Nice. Well, Kelly, you were a part of how many clubs? Are you still a part of all those clubs? Are you taking a little break, or what are you doing?
I think it's five right now.
Wow. So it's like something every weekend.
Do those clubs coordinate so their events don't clash since they're all kind of close together?
Yeah, I think they kind of have set dates every year, kind of a certain weekend. Yeah. Trying to think of some clubs meet there's like 3 or 4 clubs that meet on the same week. So yeah, it gets pretty busy.
That sounds fun though, especially because y'all are in repotting season right now because it's February 1st today. And I've been seeing pictures from people all over California, especially Southern California, saying repotting. I was like, must be nice.
Yeah, it's like that every winter.
I think we have till March to complete that. When do you guys start?
March.
In a really early year, we might start at the middle to end of February if things really thaw quickly. But
that's not happening.
Yeah, I don't think that I'll be doing that February Yamadori dig. I think it'll get pushed to March. But it's hard to predict here. Some years I remember maybe, Kevin, the time that we went to my aunt's house to dig, I think that was April 1st is when things first started to push butts.
Yeah.
So some years it's April 1st, some years it's late February, some years it's early March. But
yeah. It's hard to tell anymore because things are changing so much. I mean, I'm looking at the temperature right now. It's 9 degrees right now. It was a high of 11 or 15 today in Massachusetts, where I'm at. But again, I'm 6 minutes away from Vermont border and 6 minutes away from New York. So
do either of you know anything about the El Nino versus La Nina? I know there's like a cycle in that way, but I never memorized it. But I think that may also correlate to the early spring, late spring kind of thing. I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of nor'easter stuff happening on the East Coast right now, and that's changing things up too. But El Nino and La Nina are opposite phases of the El Nino Southern Oscillation Cycle. This is from Google, just so we have it, representing warm and cold sea surface temperature anomalies in the equatorial Pacific. El Nino features weaker trade winds and warmer water moving east, causing wetter winters in the southern U.S. and warmer conditions in the north. La Nina brings stronger trade winds pushing warm water west, resulting in cold, wetter northern U.S. winters and warmer, drier southern conditions. So, yeah, are we in an El Nino or La Nina?
I have no idea, but that was my hypothesis for why this particular winter started so early for us in Ohio. And then it's, February, I remember I grew up in Ohio and I always think that month had the most snow. I think historically February and January are kind of tied, but
yeah.
Anyways.
It says here, as of early 2026 from Google, we are in a weak La Nina, WEAK, weak as in like not strong. Is that the one that's
supposed to correlate with the colder winter or?
Yes. Yeah. Because it pushes. Ryan wasn't listening.
I gotta have it repeated for me to remember it, but yeah.
Some scientist you are.
Makes some sense then. Yeah. But this year definitely was the earliest winter I ever remember in Ohio, where we were getting cold and snow in November. That was actually like sticking to the ground and everything. So
definitely. Yeah, that's colder than any winter I had for the 6 years I lived there. Mm-hmm. So better luck next year.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot to mention this about 2025, but it made getting the trees down for the winter kind of a mess. Because last year I was like, I could do it around Thanksgiving break, right? But then when Thanksgiving break came this year, we were already getting snow. So yeah, hopefully the trees are making it. They got a nice bed of snow on them right now.
That'll be fine. They're insulated. But it was great talking with you all. Happy 2026 going forward.
Another thing that the listeners can comment or send in on our Bonsai Discord is, what is your resolution for bonsai or for life for 2026? And this is also, we're going to release this in February. So you can tell us, did you end up sticking to your resolution? Do you need to make a new resolution? You can tell us. We're your friends. So.
Oh, and also, if you feel so inclined, listeners, what are your top favorite episodes we've done? What are the least favorite episodes? Why are they your favorite? Why are they your least favorite? Any feedback is good feedback.
Yeah, Kevin's just lonely in Massachusetts. He just moved there. He doesn't know anybody. He needs to hear from the listeners, you guys. Come on.
I need a nice time.
Yeah.
Bonsai time. Now,
And he doesn't have any trees to work on anymore, so he needs his bonsai friends so he can live vicariously through them. That's what I'll say.
Pretty much. But yeah, thank y'all. Appreciate the time. Good talk with y'all. Well, you got to do this more often.
Yeah, bonsai on.
Bonsai on.
Yeah.
The Bonsai Time podcast has been horticulturally crafted by Kevin Ferris, Ryan Houston, and Kelly Louie. And if you want even more bonsai magic, don't forget to check out the episode notes and full show extras at bonsaitimepodcast.com. If you're loving the show, help us grow like a thriving juniper. Like, subscribe, share, and spread the bonsai love. Got questions, ideas, or fan mail? Send it to bonsaitimepodcast@gmail.com. Your message might make it onto a future episode. We're everywhere you scroll. Just search Bonsai Time Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and catch our TikTok snips at Bonsai Time Pod. Follow the team on Instagram at Kevin_Ferris Bonsai, at Bonsai with Kelly, and Ryan at Invivo Bonsai and InvivoBonsai.com. Thanks for tuning in. Keep pruning, keep growing, and always bonsai on.